All right, guys, just a few more problems and you will be ready for your test. So number 8, we are figuring out of these two functions, which has a larger maximum. So on this function A, it shows us the maximum right here. Let's see if my pen will work. The maximum is 4, 1. Okay, and then for letter B, we're going to use our vertex formula negative b over 2a. So our a is negative 1 and our b is 2. So the opposite of 2 is negative 2 over 2 times negative 1. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is positive 1. And then we plug in 1 for x. We do the opposite of 1 squared plus 2 times 1 minus 15. So the opposite of 1 squared is negative 1 plus 2 minus 15. And then that would be 1 minus 15, which is negative 14. So which has the maximum? Which one has the larger maximum? So this one would be 1 and way down our graph, way down there. So I don't really like this question, the larger maximum. This one's got to be it because both x and y values are bigger than 1 and negative 14. So anyway, that's not my favorite question, but there it is anyway. Number 9, write this equation in the form. So basically this is the vertex form, right? So this is just an example of what the form would be, but remember how to do that. We're going to push plus 13 over. We're going to put something right there. What is going to be there? Well, what's half of 8? Half of negative 8 is negative 4. So we're going to half it and then we square it, right? So negative 4 squared is plus 16. And then to keep this original equation equivalent to this one, if we add 16 to this side, we have to subtract 16 to that side. So what do we have? We have x minus 4, which is how we got what's in the parentheses, squared. And then 13 minus 16 is minus 3. So we wrote that in vertex form. Now, if it asked for the actual vertex, it would be positive 4 and negative 3. It doesn't ask that, but you will have some problems where you have to figure out what the vertex is. All right, what's next? And number 10, what is the equation? So equations have equal signs, right? So it's not just a number. The line of symmetry for this graph, well, here's our maximum, that's our vertex. If we drew the axis of symmetry, it would go right through here, which says that x is 4. That's our equation for our axis or our line of symmetry. Number 11, if we start with a parent function and it becomes x minus 5. Well, when this becomes x minus 5 squared, this right here means that we would have transformed our parent function right 5 units. Right 5 units. Now, I had a whole video on transformations and a whole section on Canvas for transformations. So if that's not familiar to you, you need to go back and watch that. Number 12, find the solutions for, well, it is a quadratic, which means we'll have 2 solutions. So what can I do with these 2 terms right here? I can factor out a 5x from both of them. So I'd have x plus 4. Since my equation is equal to 0, I take both parts, the 5x, set it equal to 0, and x plus 4, set it equal to 0. When I solve for when I solve for x, I get x is equal to 0 and negative 4. So our x-intercepts would be 0 and negative 4, which are our solutions. And number 13, which will increase more rapidly over time? A quadratic, which is basically x squared, or an exponential function. So that's when the exponent is our variable. So the answer is exponential function. Well, over time, even though at first the initial values of the quadratic could be greater than the exponential values, after just a short amount of time, the exponential function will always increase more rapidly than a quadratic function. So you just need to remember that statement. It will help you on your test. All right, number 14, we have a picture of a turtle with a frame around it, and it's telling us the whole thing, this whole picture, including the frame, has an area of 168 inches squared. So we could say base times width is equal to our area. So what is the length, or yeah, what is the length of the base? It's not just 10, it's x plus 10 plus x, right? So together, that's 2x plus 10. So there's our base. And then our height is not just 8, it's x plus 8 plus x. So it's 2x plus 8, and that's our width, or vice versa. And we're going to multiply them together, and in this case, we're going to get 168. So when we FOIL this, our first two terms is 4x squared. Then we have 2x times 8, which is 16x. And then we have 10 times 2x, which is 20x. And then 10 times 8 is 80, and all of that is equal to 168. And when we simplify this, we get 4x squared plus 36x plus 80. And then we always want our quadratics to be set equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 168 from both sides. So I have 4x squared plus 36x minus 88 is equal to 0. So write a quadratic equation that can be used. That's it right there. That's the best answer. Now, if it asks us, in this particular question, it doesn't ask us what is the thickness of the frame. Well, we could figure that out by solving this. So the first thing I could do is I could factor out a 4 from the whole thing. And so let's see, I would be looking for two numbers that multiply to give me negative 22 and add to give me positive 9, which will be negative 11. No, positive 11 and negative 2. And then when I set both of these equal to 0 and solve for x, I would say that x is equal to negative 11 and positive 2. Well, what's wrong with one of these two answers? If we're talking about how thick something is, could we have a negative thickness? Nope, we cannot. So we would throw that answer out, because in real world that doesn't help us. So basically the thickness of the frame is 2. All of those x's are 2's. All right, so I went ahead and solved it with you, but really it only asked for the equation, which is what my arrow is pointing to. All right, number 15, using the quadratic equation for projectiles in feet and seconds, which is, it should say which is this. What is the maximum height of a kickball when it's kicked off the ground with an initial velocity of 25 feet per second? So our velocity right there, that's our velocity. So we're just using that formula, negative 16 times t squared plus, this time is 25 times t, and this is where it's kicked from, right? And this says it's kicked off the ground, so that's plus 0 right there. And we are figuring out the maximum. So the maximum is the vertex. So we're doing negative b over 2a. So our b is 25, so we're going to do the opposite of 25, divided by 2 times a, which is negative 16. So we have negative 25 divided by negative 32, which a negative divided by a negative is a positive. So I have 25 divided by 32, which is 0.7812. And that is going to be our x value. And what is our y value? So we're going to plug in this into this equation right here. So we're going to plug in negative 16 times, I'm just going to say 25 over 32 squared plus 25 over 32 times our velocity of 25, and then it's plus 0, which we don't have to write that, of course. So I'm going to have negative 16 times 25 over 32 squared plus 25 times 25 over 32. Whoops. Messed up. 25 over 32. And I get 9.7656. All right, so in feet per seconds, so in 0.78125 seconds, our ball will reach a maximum of 9.7656. All righty. And was that the last one? Let me see. All right, one more, you guys. Let's get rid of all this. And number 16, it says a graph of two functions is shown below. What are the approximate values for f of x and g of x? So here we have a linear, this is a linear equation, and this is an exponential equation. All right, so when you're looking for the solutions, guys, you're looking for the x values of when they intersect. That's what you're looking for, the x value. So these intersect at about what? Negative, it's a little bit more than 2.5, negative 2.5. So we would say about negative, we say x is equal to, I don't know, negative 2.7, maybe 2. Yeah, about 2.7. That's we're approximating, right? They also intersect at almost -1. And they intersect at about right at 1.5. So just a reminder, when you're answering this question, you're looking for the x values only of where they intersect, okay? Don't forget that. All right, you guys, I hope that helps you. I hope you guys have finished strong. I hope if you have any missing work, you will go back and make that up. I have to have all grades turned in officially by the latest Monday the 17th by 4, but I'd love him much even sooner than that. All right, let me know if you guys need me. Have a great week, and I will talk to you guys soon.